Has there been any visual changes with the Shadow Clad?
There has been no visual changes on any armor or weapon enchantments. They all look exactly the same.
It sucks, doesn't it, man? I want
It
them to
really
look
does.
amazing.
I know. I was really hoping, since, you are able to upgrade them to 13, that would encourage a lot of people to get them from 12 to 13 just because the visual effects. I feel like not a lot of people are going to even worry about it, getting stuff from 12 to 13, because the percentage on the difference is just so small. I feel like a lot of people would have gotten it to the next rank just because of the visual effects. They should have definitely put a little time and effort on making that happen, but they have failed.
I welcome you to MiniMi.
So the first one is going to be your Bark Shield enchantment, and the 6 seconds stays the same. It says every 6 seconds your armor receives a charge of blustered bark up to a maximum of 4 charges. So that stays the same, the seconds. However, the absorption amount has been increased from 24,000 up to 28,000, and then from 48,000 to 56, 72 to 84,000, 96 to 112,000. The Bark Shield is actually a pretty good enchantment if you're a TR or if you're like a CW. Any class that allows you to skip away or, for example, to hide, which gives enough time for your Bark Shields to charge up. Because let me tell you, you don't take any damage at all from not from bosses. Bosses will still smash the hell out of you, okay? Because they hit for like 1 million. But I'm talking about like NPCs and mobs. You're not gonna take any damage when you become invisible as a TR in the process. And then when you go in stealth and you hide away, you're gonna allow enough time for your Bark Shield to charge up. So it works pretty amazingly awesome. So those are really the changes. I don't know. You have to find out for yourself if it's worth uh, getting this from a 13, from a 12 to a 13, if it's worth the AD that's required, uh, so you can get an additional of, let me see here, 18,000 more damage, protection against mobs and whatnot. Anybody watching this stream right now, make sure to subscribe so that way I can achieve my goal. I greatly appreciate it. I'm doing pretty well. I haven't had a chance to play live, but I have enough AD, so I should be able to get all my stuff to rank 14s and stuff, and so on. I was actually just testing my character earlier with Myron. Boy, was I doing a lot of damage. It was pretty insane.
I'll get you for that!
Let's do the Hulk smash. Oh my god, come on! So what do you guys think of the Bark Shield? What class do you think is the best class to have the Bark Shield? It needs to be a class that you can skip away from the enemy. Me as a GF is going to be terrible because I'm not going to have enough time to let the Bark Shield recharge. So in PvP, the Bark Shield is terrible as a GF because you're constantly being attacked all the time. Therefore, you're never going to allow the Bark Shield to recharge all the way. Remember, guys, it's 6 seconds in between charges. So there is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 charges. So 6 times 4, you have to allow 24 seconds to pass by, or 6 seconds to pass by. But it has to be a class that you can skip away, that you can dodge the enemy, so you can allow your Bark Shield to charge. Otherwise, it's not going to work. For those that already know what the Bark Shield looks like, it's just a bunch of rocks floating around you. Here's more details. Alright, this one says, let's see what changed. when below 75% health, you have a 35% or 30%. It was 30%. Now we're up to 35% chance of receiving damage to deal 376% of your weapon damage as neurotic damage. And before it used to be only 328%. So the percentage has been increased quite a lot, but the neurotic damage is pretty useless, to be honest, in my opinion. Doesn't really do enough damage in PvP. I'm not really sure about PvE, but the neurotic damage never does enough damage for whatever reason. And sorry if I'm not paying attention to your chat as much. That's just because I'm trying to get through all these enchantments for you guys. So you can, kind of see what changed. Everything has been increased. I think if you're going to be using this particular armor enchantment, it's definitely going to be worth for you to upgrade to rank 13. Because this one has some pretty good results as far as the changes on it from 12 to 13. What do you think, Charles?
I mean, at the moment, I think they're probably gonna revise some of these enchantments because some of them upgrades are really good. Like you think, if you look at the lightning one, you get a lot more lightning damage, especially single target. But I don't know, if you look at Vorpal, 5% increase in crit severity, I mean, come on, who's gonna upgrade to parallel for that? It's unparalleled for that. And same for some, I guess, of these armor enchantments too, like negation. At 10 stacks, you get an additional 10% damage resistance from transcendent to unparalleled. But if you look at Soulforge, it's like, what's the point in upgrading it?
Well, I guess we shall see. Sometimes in this game, sometimes all it just the slightest percentage. It's what makes a difference. Sometimes 1 or 2% it will give you a better advantage when you fight it against your opponent. So this is what that looks like. It kind of makes your whole character looks red. It's pretty interesting. It's like you've been dived on blood. The next one on the list is going to be the Buried Twine enchantments. So yeah, you got a bunch of roots popping out of your chest. Looking pretty scary. If you zoom in all the way, actually, you can see what it actually looks like. Pretty awesome. You reflect 6% in mod 12B, okay, which is to upgrade it to rank 13, which is going to cost you quite a lot of AD. It says you reflect 6.75. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. So it's a 0.75% that's been increased on this particular armor enchantment, guys. Mod 12 versus mod 12B, which is from 12 to 13, you will get a 0.75% of the damage dealt to you, dealt back to your attacker. That is absolutely incredible. You reflect 6% versus you reflect 6.75% of the damage dealt to your attacker. So technically, with this armor enchantment, you do not protect yourself in any type of way at all. Zero protection. So it's not going to defend you. It's not going to make your survivability go up. The only thing this armor enchantment is designed is just so you can damage your opponent, your enemy, whether if it's PvP or whether if it's PvE. It's going to do 6.75% more damage if you upgrade to rank 13. You're probably better off just sticking to the rank 12 because at 0.75% it really is not going to make a difference for you to spend millions of ADs just to get to 13. Not worth it. Here's the Elven. Now for those that don't know what the Elven looks like, I'm sure you probably all seen it, but you get this pretty awesome looking effect around you. Elven is really good, and I'll go ahead and read that out to you here in a moment, but first in my favorite list is Negation, then it's Elven, then it's going to be the Shadow Clad.
Has there been any visual changes with the Shadow Clad?
There has been no visual changes on any armor or weapon enchantments. They all look exactly the same.
It sucks, doesn't it, man? I want them
It
to
really
look
does.
amazing.
I know. I was really hoping, since, you are able to upgrade them to 13, that would encourage a lot of people to get them from 12 to 13 just because the visual effects. I feel like not a lot of people are going to even worry about it, getting stuff from 12 to 13, because the percentage on the difference is just so small. I feel like a lot of people would have gotten it to the next rank just because of the visual effects. They should have definitely put a little time and effort on making that happen, but they have failed. This one says on the rank 12, you are 80% more resistant, where the rank 13, you are 85% more resistant to slows, immobilizes, disables, and stunts. Their duration is reduced. Your stamina regeneration is increased by 35% on rank 13, and it's only 30% on rank 12. You guys let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Is an extra 5% difference in stats, such as resistance to slows, immobilizes, and disables, and stunts, and stamina increased by an extra 5%, worth it to spend millions of ADs to get this to rank 13? Again, this does not give you any type of damage immunity at all. It does not protect you. So it's not really useful in PvE at all. It is definitely useful in PvP. That's why you'll never see anybody wearing Elven when it comes to PvE stuff, because you normally don't get disabled on PvE anyways. But there's a lot of people that use Elven on PvP, and it works pretty amazing.
For the stamina gain.
Absolutely. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Between the Elven that I have on right now, okay? If I go to the mount section, I'm also using the gas spore. This also gives you an additional 20%, 25% stamina regeneration as well. 20% stamina regeneration. Between that, and then under my power section, I am using the shield talent, which gives me an additional 20% more stamina regeneration. Plus, under the power artifact, I'm also using this here that gives me an additional 15% of stamina regeneration. Plus, then I have another 1000 stamina regeneration here, which gives me another 8.1%. What I mean by that is my shield never go down with the selection I have right now. It just stays up all the time. I can hold the shield on forever, and it just stays on all the time. While you're waiting until Black Friday, Cyber Gaming, are they gonna have these armor enchantments for sale? Is that what's going on? Maybe you should just need to wait for Cyber Monday if you want to build yourself a good computer. Cyber Monday. Everything is discounted. All the parts that you need for a computer are discounted. I appreciate everybody's feedback in the chat. The chat has been beautifully active. Love you guys. Thank you. The next one on the list is going to be the Fire Burst enchantment. Before we go and take a look at the visual effects and what it looks like for those that don't know, I think it looks pretty awesome as far as the visual effects are concerned, but it doesn't really do too much of a good job, I guess. It says, when you receive damage, you have a 24% chance to release a fireball at your attacker that explodes, damaging 6 foes within 20 feet for fire damage and setting them on fire, causing damage over time. The damage of this fireball scales with your level. This effect can only occur once every 20 seconds. So the difference is a 2%, guys. Okay? And that's it. Also, the effect can only occur once every 18 seconds instead of the 20 seconds. So there's a 2 seconds reduction and a total of 2% difference in damage. And let me tell you guys, this thing is terrible, okay? Like, it doesn't do anything to your enemy at all. The 20% chance to release a fireball that attacks, damaging 6 foes within 20 feet, or whatever, it tickles the opponent or the NPCs or whatever, unless you're playing Temple of Spider. And I'm not talking about the epic Temple of Spider. I'm talking about the regular Temple of Spider, okay? Or if you're playing like a dungeon level 40 or something. This is not going to do anything to the NPCs, to mobs, to enemies. It does nothing. So don't purchase this anymore. This enchantment armor enchantment used to be good back in the old days, like mod 6, like 13 years ago, when all the NPCs and the enemies had like 2000 HP or something funny like that. You actually saw a little damage in the return. Now it just does nothing now. Not worth it. Get a armor enchantment that's going to protect you, keep you alive, and is going to boost up your damage resistance or your deflection or anything that's going to help you survive. It looks cool though. The visual effects look pretty awesome. I am not going to lie. Here's what it looks like. Looks like you're on fire. Anyways, guys, I do want to thank everybody for smashing the like button for me. You guys are epic. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. At the same time, I do want to thank all the people that made this stream possible. Appreciate that, guys. And I also want to thank the top people who've been watching my stream. Really appreciate your support, guys. The next one we got the Frostburn Enchantment. And we'll go ahead and review that here in a little bit. But this one looks pretty cool. I think this has got to be one of my favorites as far as the visuals are concerned. Beautiful looking. You can almost see the ice in his arms. It's completely covered in ice. Your whole body. On receiving damage, you have a 24% chance to deal frost damage and apply a 30% slow to the target. Also disables NPCs and reduces recovery, deflect, and power by 35% against players. So this damage scales with your level. This effect lasts 4 seconds and can occur every 20 seconds. The increase from mod 12 to 12B, which is from 12 to 13, has increased by 2% on a chance. And that's it. Just a chance has been increased. Literally. Your chance has been increased by 2%, but everything else stays the same. Let me know what you guys think on the comments below. Is it worth upgrading this enchantment from 12 to 13 for a 2% chance, but everything else stays the same? 35% against players stays the same. The 20 seconds cooldown stays the same. 30% slow to target stays the same in NPCs. My god, definitely not worth it in my opinion whatsoever. This armor enchantment is actually pretty good in my opinion. Definitely worth it. The reason why, the highlight of this armor enchantment is going to be the 30% chance slow to the target. Okay. Also, it disables NPCs. So sometimes you just need that second to disable the NPCs so you can do your beautiful rotation with your GWF or your GF or whatever the case may be. Now, it only disables NPCs. It's not going to disable bosses or anything like that. Okay, it's just going to be mobs only. It reduces their recovery, deflect, and power by 35%. Pretty huge, guys. 35% reduction on power is large. Same thing with their deflect and recovery as well. This would be pretty decent against like a TR or a CW or any class that has a lot of deflect, along with any class that's doing a lot of dailies quite often. Reducing their recovery and deflection and power by 35% is pretty nice. Alright, here comes negation. Now, I've been using negation since this game has come out, literally. I've always had negation, whether for PvP or for PvE. I will be reviewing the weapon enchantments tomorrow or Tuesday, one or the other. So make sure you don't miss the stream. Anybody that's watching the stream for the first time or you just happen to hop on, also make sure you subscribe so you can help me get the goal close. I'm always very, very close to 12,000 subscribers, guys. And as far as the negation is concerned, you have this beautiful glow on your character for those that, you know, just got the game or have not witnessed it yourself yet. Kronos, I will ban you, Kronos. Let me see how long I can ban Kronos for. Put user in timeout for how many seconds? How many seconds should I put the user on timeout? What do you guys think? Or should I block him completely? Where's the ban button? Let me actually ban him. I'm just joking, guys. I love Kronos. I honestly think negation has got to be the best armor enchantment from all the enchantments. As a negation, when receiving damage, each hit stacks up a 3.5% increase to your damage resistance. If you get it from 12 to 13, it stacks up to 4%. So you get a 0.5 increase from 12 to 13. It's only a 0.5 increase, which, you know, it stacks up. So a 0.5 it's pretty decent, even though it doesn't sound like a lot at first, but it is once it starts to stack up. To your damage resistance. A 1% increase to income and healing, and a 1% increase to recovery for 10 seconds. And this effect can stack up to a maximum of 10 times. So, exactly. So this makes a difference. So is it worth upgrading a 12 to a 13? Absolutely. We only got 3 more to go, guys. Here we go, the beautiful Shadowclad enchantment. For anybody that hasn't seen the Shadowclad enchantment, I remember when they first released this armor enchantment, I was pretty intrigued by it. This one and the Dread enchantment, they both came out at the same time. But that's what it looks like. Very spiky. When receiving damage, each hit adds 14% to your deflection rating and a 4% increase to your damage resistance for 8 seconds. This effect can stack a maximum of 8 times and expires when you successfully deflect. When you successfully deflect an attack with 8 stacks of a Shadowclad, your armor will daze nearby foes for 1 second and place you in stealth for 4 seconds. This effect cannot happen more than every 30 seconds. So the difference between rank 12 and rank 13 is that from 14% to your deflection rating, you're up to 16%. So this one is also worth upgrading as well, guys. The reason why is because it stacks. So because it stacks is worth it. Because going stealth will make you lose your aggro. Yeah, as a GF, but if you're a different class, I guess going stealth. If you're like a DPS class, that stealth is going to be a life and death situation. Especially in PvP too. Oh my god. Just when you're being put on a courage breaker and you end up going in stealth mode for those couple of seconds, it gives you enough time to escape from the situation, so it makes a difference. But you have to roll around in low low deflect. You have to stay in low deflect in order for the 8 stacks to pop up so you can go in stealth. If your deflection is really high, this is not going to work. The next one on the list is going to be the Soulforged. You have this dark theme look into your character, and it looked like you're straight from hell. Alright, as a Soulforged, it says, when you fall in combat, your Soulforged armor will resurrect you. Technically, if you die, whether if it's PvP or PvE, you'll come back to life. You'll have another, you have a second chance again to live. And heal you for 7,000 hit points and 2,000 every second for 3 seconds. So technically you are healed within 3 seconds of being resurrected. A total of 9, 11, about 13,000 hit points altogether. When you are resurrected, you do 4,000 more damage to any foes near you. Not more damage, just 4,000 damage to foes near you, which is technically nothing. Especially since nowadays people have 150 to 200,000 HP in general. You might be able to kill somebody if they have like 1,000 HP left or something like that. It was like a near death fight. They like kill you on that last health bar, and then you get yourself resurrected, and you know that just kills them. Which the chances of that is very slim. And gain 3-second immunity, okay? CC immunity. This is not damage immunity. It's you still can get killed. Just CC immunity, meaning that you're not gonna be able to get stunned, locked, or immobilized with those 3 seconds. This effect can only trigger once every 75 seconds. So the 12 to 13, you only get 500 more when you first are resurrected as HP, another 250 for the next 3 seconds. So that's a total of like 1,250 HP extra from 12 to 13. And you will do 5,000 damage to your opponent when you are resurrected instead of 4,000 damage, which is still really a joke. And everything else stays the same. The reduction on the cooldown stays the same and everything like that. Soulforge is a really good armor enchantment for PvE. It does not protect you in any circumstances at all. However, it will give you the second chance of living. Especially like, let's say if you're fighting on FBI. You really don't need a lot of damage resistance because you're going to have a good party that's going to protect you anyways. But if you get frozen into the ice and it kills you, then you can relive again. They've definitely made things a lot more cheaper for you to get to rank 12, which is a good thing. And to be honest, from 12 to 13 is not a huge change. So this is going to give everybody out there a better opportunity to have better enchantments and stuff. Let's do the Hulk smash. Do the Hulk smash. Lord, what's happening, Lord? Guys, I hope you witnessed that beautiful damage. If you just joined the stream, go ahead and reverse a little bit. See all the damage we just did just a moment ago. Oh, thank you, thank you. By the way, guys, the stream has brought to you, made possible by these beautiful supporters. Shout out to Crazy Bear, Halligan, Charles. Shout out to all the top watch time streamers. Deshaun, Kuro, Myron, Floki, and Joshua. So thank you guys.
This is where we hold them.